Listen to me. Every single day you wake up and you got a choice. You can focus on what's missing or you can focus on what's already in your hand. You can complain about what you don't have or you can give thanks for what you do have. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a habit. It's a way of life. It's the foundation that turns ordinary moments into blessing, small acts into miracles, and setbacks into setups for something greater. See, most people think gratitude is something you show when life is good. When you get the promotion, when the sun is shining, when everything's falling into place, that's easy gratitude. But the real test, the real growth comes when you're thankful, even when it hurts, when you can still say, "Oh, thank you," even when life knocks you down. That's the gratitude that changes everything. When I was homeless, sleeping in abandoned buildings, eating out of trash cans, I still said a thank you. I shot another shot to get up and grind. Some of y'all got a roof over your head, food on your table, people that love you, but you act like it's not enough. You're waiting for the big blessing, but you're missing the small ones right in front of you. Gratitude shifts your mindset. When you start counting your blessings instead of your problem, your energy changes. Your focus changes. You stop being a victim and start becoming a victor. You start realizing that every small act, every thank you, every smile, every moment of kindness creates a ripple. You don't even see how far that ripple goes. Somebody's watching you. Somebody's learning from your attitude. Somebody's being inspired just because you decided to be grateful instead of bitter. You think small acts don't matter? Let me tell you, every small act adds up. Gratitude compounds just like success. You do it every day, it becomes who you are. Start small. Wake up in the morning and just say, "A thank you." Before you touch your phone, before you check your messages, say thank you. Thank you for life. Thank you for bread. Thank you for another chance. Watch how your day changes. Watch how your perspective changes. Because when you start your day with gratitude, you end your day with peace. Gratitude opens doors. It builds connections. People want to be around someone who appreciates them. You want better relationships? Be grateful. You want more opportunities? Be grateful for the ones you already have. Gratitude multiplies everything it touches. And listen, it's not just about words. It's about action. Gratitude is shown in how you live. It's in the way you treat people, the way you show up, the way you work. When you're truly grateful, you don't take shortcuts. You give your best because you know someone's sacrifice got you here. Somebody prayed for you. Somebody believed in you. Somebody opened the door for you. And gratitude means you honor that. So I'm challenging you today. Make gratitude a habit. Not a reaction, not a moment, a lifestyle. Don't just be thankful when things go right. Be thankful when you're being tested. Because that's when gratitude has power. That's when you build character. That's when you see the big impact from the small acts. And stop waiting for something major to happen before you say thank you right now. For where you are, for who you are, and for what's coming. Because gratitude doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you. Gratitude is a choice, not a reaction. You can't wait for life to give you something good before you decide to be thankful. If you do that, you'll always be at the mercy of your circumstance. You'll be happy when things are easy and broken when they're not. But when you make gratitude a choice, when you wake up every morning and decide, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what's happening, to be thankful, that's when you take back control. That's when you stop letting life happen to you and start happening to life. Gratitude isn't a feeling that shows up when everything is perfect. Gratitude is a mindset, a daily decision to focus on what's right instead of what's wrong, to see what you have instead of what you lack, and to find light even when the world feels dark. Every single person's problems. Every single person is fighting battles you can't see. Some people are dealing with pain, loss, disappointment, and failure. But you never know it because they've trained their hearts to be grateful through it all. That's what separates the strong from the weak, the focused from the frustrated. Gratitude doesn't remove your problem, but it changes how you see them. When you choose gratitude, you're saying, yes, it's hard, but I'm still blessed. You're saying, I may not be where I want to be, but I'm grateful I'm not where I used to be. You're saying, I don't have everything, but I have enough to keep going. That mindset is power. That mindset turns pain into progress and obstacles into opportunities. When you live in reaction mode, your emotions control you. You're up when life is good, down when it's bad. You celebrate when people praise you, and you crumble when they criticize you. But when gratitude becomes a choice, you rise above that. You stay consistent no matter what's going on around you. You learn to find peace in the middle of chaos. You learn to smile in the middle of storms. Gratitude gives you stability when everything else is unstable. It's an anchor for your spirit. You can lose a job, face rejection, experience heartbreak, and still say a thank you because you know something greater is coming. You know that even in the pain, there's a lesson. Even in the loss, there's growth. Gratitude doesn't make you blind to reality. It helps you see it from a higher perspective. Let me tell you something. Most people don't realize how powerful a grateful mindset really is. Gratitude shifts your energy, your focus, and your attitude. The moment you choose to see what's good, your entire body responds. You breathe differently. You walk differently. You talk differently. You stop complaining. You stop comparing. You stop waiting for the perfect situation to feel blessed. You just start living with appreciation for the small everyday things, the breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, the people who care about you, the chances you still have to get it right. Because truthfully, it's not the big moments that shape our lives. It's how we treat the little ones. Gratitude teaches you to stop chasing happiness and start creating it. You want to know why some people are always bitter, always angry, always unhappy? It's because they've made complaining their habit instead of gratitude. They wake up and immediately think about what's wrong. They scroll through social media comparing their lives to others. They focus on everything they don't have, everything that's not perfect. And that energy follows them all day. But those who practice gratitude, they wake up and say, I'm alive, I'm blessed, I've got work to do. They set the tone for their day. They focus on purpose instead of problems. They attract better opportunities, better people, better experiences because their energy reflects appreciation, not lack. Gratitude is a mindset that rewires your brain. Scientists have proven that when you focus on gratitude, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals that make you feel joy and contentment. You start noticing more positive things around you because your brain learns to look for them. It's like flipping a switch inside your mind. The more grateful you are, the more reasons you find to stay grateful. It's a cycle that feeds itself. But the opposite is true too. The more you complain, the more negativity you attract. That's why you must make gratitude a choice every single day. It's not a one-time decision. It's a lifestyle. Even when things don't go your way, choose gratitude. When people hurt you, thank God for the strength to forgive. When doors close, be grateful that not every door is meant for you. When you fail, be thankful that failure is just feedback. It's not final. When life slows you down, appreciate the pause. Sometimes that pause is protection. Sometimes that delay is preparation. Gratitude teaches you patience, humility, and perspective. It keeps you from giving up too soon because you realize that everything, even the hard stuff, is working for your good. I remember hearing a story about a man who lost everything, his job, his house, his saving. Most people would have given up. But instead, every morning he wrote down 3 things he was thankful for. At first it was small stuff, his coffee, the sunrise, his hair, his ale. But over time, those small things gave him strength to keep pushing. Within a year, he started a new business, rebuilt his life, and said gratitude was the one thing that kept him alive. You see, gratitude doesn't just change your attitude. It changes your direction, It gives you the motivation to get up when you fall, the faith to believe when you can't see, and the courage to keep moving when the path isn't clear. Gratitude isn't for the perfect. It's for the persistent. It's for those who keep believing even when everything says they shouldn't. Because when you choose to be grateful, you train your heart to see blessings where others see burdens. You train your mind to stay calm where others panic. And you train your soul to keep shining even when the world gets dark. Gratitude isn't weakness, it's strength under control. It's choosing peace over pressure, faith over fear, and hope over hate. Every time you choose gratitude, you build inner wealth. You may not have everything you want, but you have everything you need to keep growing. That's why some of the happiest people in the world have the least material possession. They understand that real joy doesn't come from things. It comes from appreciation. You could lose everything tomorrow, but if you still have gratitude, you still have power. Because gratitude gives you the ability to rebuild, to recover, to rise again. It's easy to be thankful when life feels good. But gratitude means saying a thank you even when it's raining. It means believing that every storm is watering your growth. It means trusting that the pain you feel today is preparing the strength you'll need tomorrow. When gratitude becomes your choice, life can't break you anymore. The situations may hurt, but they won't destroy you. Because your peace doesn't depend on what's happening around you. It comes from what's happening within you. So the next time you feel down, stop and breathe. Remind yourself of everything you still have. Write down your blessings. Speak them out loud. Don't wait for everything to be perfect to start being grateful. Start being grateful. And watch how life begins to move in your favor. Gratitude is not something you do when everything's right. It's what keeps everything right. It's the key to peace, the foundation for joy, and the path to purpose. When you live in gratitude, you stop surviving and start thriving. Make it your habit. Every day, no matter what, choose gratitude. When it's hard, choose it. When it's uncertain, choose it. When life doesn't go your way, choose it. Because gratitude isn't about what's happening to you. It's about what's happening inside you. You can't control everything around you, but you can always control how you respond. And when your response is gratitude, you're already winning. Be thankful even in struggle. That's the real test of character, the real measure of growth. Anybody can be grateful when life is easy, when everything is working out, when the path is clear. But when the nights are long, the storms are heavy, and the future looks uncertain, most people forget what gratitude feels like. They start complaining, doubting, blaming. They focus on the pain instead of the lesson, on the loss instead of the blessing. But those who rise, those who keep their spirit alive in the hardest moments, are the ones who learn how to be thankful even in the struggle. Gratitude in good times is appreciation, but gratitude in bad times is power. It's what turns suffering into strength, wounds into wisdom, and pain into purpose. When you go through struggle, life is testing you. It's asking, how bad do you want it? How strong is your faith? How much do you trust the process? The easy thing to do is to quit, to let frustration and fear take over. But the strongest people in the world, the ones who overcome, they look at their pain and say, I'm thankful for this. I may not understand it right now, but I know it's building me into something greater. See, being thankful in struggle doesn't mean you enjoy the pain. It means you recognize the purpose behind it. It means you know that growth only happens through discomfort, that diamonds are formed under pressure, and that storms don't destroy you. Think about it. Every time life has pushed you, challenged you, or forced you out of your comfort zone, it was preparing you for something better. Maybe you lost a job, but that loss opened the door to a new opportunity. Maybe a relationship ended, but that heartbreak made room for peace, healing, or self-discovery again. Maybe you failed, but that failure taught you more than any success ever could. Every struggle carries a lesson. Gratitude is what allows you to see it. Without gratitude, you see only the pain. With gratitude, you see the progress. Gratitude turns a problem into a teacher and a loss into a blessing in disguise. When you're in the middle of your hardest battles, gratitude may feel impossible. You might think, how can I be thankful for this? But that's exactly when gratitude matters most. Because gratitude doesn't ignore reality, it transforms it. It gives you strength to keep going when you want to give up. It shifts your focus from what's broken to what's still working. It reminds you that even in your lowest moment, you're still breathing, still standing, still fighting. And as long as you're alive, you've still got a chance. You still got purpose. I remember hearing Eric Thomas say, don't cry to quit, cry to keep going. That's the essence of gratitude and struggle. It's saying, yes, this hurts, but I'm grateful for the grind. I'm grateful for the lesson. I'm grateful for the chance to grow stronger. Because every tear you cry, every setback you face, every time life knocks you down, it's building something inside of you. And when you can thank God in those moments, you shift the entire atmosphere. You take control of your spirit. You no longer let pain define you. You let it refine you. The truth is, struggle is inevitable. No matter who you are, life will test you. But your response to that test determines your future. You can either let the struggle break you or build you. And the key difference between the two is gratitude. When you're thankful in the storm, you stop seeing it as punishment and exploration. You begin to realize that the pressure you're under is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. That gratitude gives you perspective. It reminds you that this pain won't last forever, but the strength you gain from it will. So many people pray for strength, but they run from the situations that build it. They ask for patience, then complain when they're forced to wait. They ask for wisdom, question the lessons that come through failure. You can't grow without struggle, and you can't find peace without gratitude. Gratitude is what helps you endure the process. It's what allows you to say, I don't like this, but I need this. Because you understand that comfort never built anything worth keeping. It's the pressure that shapes the masterpiece. Being thankful in struggle doesn't mean pretending everything's fine. It doesn't mean smiling through pain or ignoring your emotions. It means acknowledging the struggle but refusing to let it steal your hope. It means saying, yes, this is hard, but I trust that it's working for my good. That kind of mindset is powerful. It keeps your faith alive. It keeps your heart open. It keeps you moving forward when everything around you is telling you to stop. Gratitude and struggle is what keeps your spirit unbreakable. Let's be real. There will be moments when you want to give up, when the weight feels too heavy, when you question why things are happening the way they are. In those moments, stop and remember everything you've already survived. Remember the battles you've already won, the pain you've already healed from. You've been through storms before and made it out stronger. You'll do it again. And that alone is something to be thankful for, because if you made it this far, that means you're built for this. You've got a purpose greater than the pain. When you practice gratitude in the middle of hardship, something amazing happens. You stop feeling powerless. You begin to see that even in your struggle, you still have choices. You can still decide how you respond, how you grow, how you move forward. Gratitude gives you ownership of your story. It reminds you that your pain doesn't define you. It refines you. It makes you wiser, humbler, more compassionate. The people who are most grateful are often the ones who suffer the most, because they've learned to appreciate what others take for granted. They know the value of peace because they've known chaos. They know the value of love because they've known loss. They know the value of light because they've walked through darkness. Gratitude and struggle also changes how you see other people. When you're grateful for your own journey, you stop comparing yourself to others. You stop envying their blessings and start appreciating your own. You realize that everyone is fighting their own battles, and that comparison only steals your joy. Gratitude keeps you grounded, humble, and focused on your lane. It helps you celebrate others while staying thankful for your process. Because when you're truly grateful, there's no room for jealousy, bitterness, or resentment, only peace. One of the most beautiful things about being thankful in struggle is that it gives meaning to your pain. When you look back, you realize that every hardship you faced was a stepping stone to where you are now. That breakup taught you self-worth. That failure built your resilience. That loss gave you perspective. Nothing was wasted. Gratitude helps you see that even the darkest moments had light hidden inside them. Sometimes what feels like the end is really just the beginning of something new. You gotta understand, struggle reveals who you are. It shows you what's inside. And gratitude helps you face that reflection with courage. It's easy to be bitter when life gets tough, but bitterness blocks blessings. Gratitude, on the other hand, opens doors. It attracts peace, love, and opportunities. When people see that you can stay positive through the worst of times, they're inspired by you. You become a light for others who are walking through their own darkness. Your gratitude becomes contagious. It creates impact far beyond your own life. So when you're facing pain, don't run from it. Face it with a thankful heart. Tell yourself, oh, this is part of my story. This is shaping me. This is preparing me for what's next. Learn to find small things to be grateful for, even when everything feels heavy. Maybe it's your family, your friends, your health, or just the fact that you woke up today. Those small things matter. Gratitude grows when you feed it. And even in struggle, you can always find something to feed it with. Being thankful in struggle doesn't mean life gets easier. It means you get stronger. It means you stop letting the storm control your emotion and start letting your faith guide your steps. It means you refuse to let pain steal your purpose. The struggle will pass, but what you gain from it, the lessons, the strength, the wisdom will stay forever. And one day you'll look back and say, I didn't like it, but I needed it. I didn't see it then, but now I understand why I had to go through it. That's the power of gratitude and struggle. It turns what should have broken you into the very thing that built you. It teaches you that no matter what happens, there's always something to be thankful for. And as long as you keep that attitude, there's nothing life can throw at you that you can't overcome. Because gratitude in the struggle doesn't just help you survive, it helps you rise. Small acts create big ripples. Most people underestimate the power of small things. They think that to make an impact, they have to do something grand, something huge, something that everyone can see. But the truth is, real change often begins quietly, with a single act of kindness, a single word of encouragement, a single moment of compassion. Those little moments may seem insignificant, but they create waves that travel farther than you can imagine. You don't always get to see where your ripple goes, but make no mistake, it moves, it spreads, and it touches lives in ways you'll never know. Think about it. Every movement, every great change in history started with one small step. One person decided to care. One person decided to act. One person decided to speak up or lend a hand. The greatest revolutions, the biggest breakthroughs, the most inspiring stories, all started small. You may not think your small act matters, but to someone else, it could mean everything. A simple thank you, a smile, a compliment, a word of belief. Those are seeds of light planted in someone's darkness. You may forget about it in minutes, but for them, it might stay forever. We live in a world obsessed with results, numbers, and recognition. People want to go viral. They want millions of likes. They want big applause. But impact doesn't need an audience. True impact happens in the quiet space of life, in the moments when no one's watching, when no one's recording. That's where your character shows. That's where the real change starts. A kind word to a stranger, a patient ear to someone who's hurting, a helping hand to someone who fell. Those things don't trend online, but they build humanity. They remind people that love and goodness still exist. Every small act of gratitude or kindness creates a ripple effect. Imagine you hold a pebble in your hand and drop it into still water. It doesn't matter how small the pebble is, the ripples move outward, wider and wider, touching parts of the surface far from where it started. That's exactly how your actions work. When you choose to be kind, to forgive, to give thanks, you create movement in the world. That energy passes from you to someone else, from them to another. And before you know it, one small act has multiplied into hundreds. The ripple doesn't stop, it just keeps spreading. Maybe you smiled at someone today without knowing they were having the worst day of their life. Maybe you said something encouraging to a coworker who was ready to quit. Maybe you listened to a friend when they needed to talk, but couldn't find the words. You might not realize it, but those moments save people. They restore hope. They remind others that life is still good, that someone still cares. You didn't change the whole world, but you changed their world, and that's where real change began. So many people feel invisible, unnoticed, unappreciated. The world can be cold and heavy, but gratitude and kindness cut through that darkness like light through fog. When you practice small acts of gratitude, saying a thank you, expressing appreciation, holding the door open, acknowledging someone's effort, you lift the energy around you. You make people feel seen. And the moment someone feels seen, they start to heal. They start to believe. They start to pass that same energy on to others. That's how a single act grows into a wave of positivity. Think about your own life. How many times a small act from someone else made a big difference for you? Maybe a teacher who believed in you when no one else did. Maybe a stranger who helped you when you were stuck. Maybe a friend who said, I'm proud of you at the exact moment you needed to hear. Those weren't big, flashy gestures, but they stayed with you, didn't they? They shaped how you saw yourself, how you moved forward. You never forgot them. That's the ripple effect in action. The truth is, you'll never know how far your kindness goes. You may never see the end of the ripple, but that's not your job. Your job is to drop the stone, to act with love, with gratitude, with compassion, and trust that it will reach where it needs to go. Every time you choose to do good, even in a small way, you're adding something valuable to the world. You're tipping the balance toward hope. Small acts matter because they're consistent. They build habits. They form the foundation of who you are. When you make gratitude and kindness part of your daily life, you become a walking source of light. People feel your energy. They feel safe, valued, uplifted just by being around you. And even if they don't say it, even if they don't show it, they carry that feeling into their own lives and share it forward. One person living in gratitude can inspire a chain reaction of goodness. Some people say, I'm just one person. What difference can I make? Let me tell you, every great change began with one person who believed that their small action mattered. One person who refused to stay silent. One person who decided to love anyway, to give anyway, to try anyway, to try anyway, to try anyway. You're not too ordinary to matter. The smallest candle still destroys darkness. The smallest gesture can still restore faith. What you do counts always. Even nature reminds us that small things make big impact. One drop of rain seems small, but millions of them create rivers and oceans. One seed seems tiny, but with time it grows into a forest. One heartbeat may sound small, but a million of them sustain life. Every great thing begins with something small. Gratitude and kindness work the same way. They start with one moment, one action, one choice, and grow into something powerful over time. You may think your words don't matter, but they do. Words carry energy, and energy moves people. When you speak life into someone, when you encourage them, you might be planting hope in a place where they were ready to give up. You may never see the full result of that, but they might go on to do something amazing because of that encouragement. They might help others, build something, change lives. And it all started with you. You created that ripple. Small acts don't just affect others. They affect you. Every time you choose gratitude, kindness, or compassion, you train your heart to see abundance instead of lack. You remind yourself that life is good, that there's always something to give, even when you don't have much. And that mindset keeps your spirit strong. It helps you face your own challenges with courage because you know that you're not powerless. You know that every action counts. Gratitude connects you to others and to something greater than yourself. Sometimes the most meaningful ripples happen in silence. You might think nobody notices the good you're doing, but someone always does. A child watching you help a stranger learns empathy. A co-worker who sees your patience learns respect. A friend who sees your gratitude learns perspective. Without realizing it, you're teaching people through your example. Your small acts become lessons that shape other lives. That's why it's so important to live with intention. To know that your energy, your words, your attitude all matter. You don't need money, fame, or status to create ripples. You just need heart. A small act of service, a genuine thank you, or a smile given freely is worth more than any grand gesture done for attention. Because the energy behind it is pure, it's real, and people can feel that. When your actions come from love and gratitude, they carry power that travels beyond what you can measure. One day, you might meet someone who tells you that a simple thing you did changed their life. Maybe it was years ago and you don't even remember it, but they do. They carried that moment with them. That's the legacy of small acts. That's the power of choosing to show up with kindness, even when no one notices. You never know whose life you're touching or what kind of miracle you might be starting. So don't ever think your small acts don't matter. Every time you express gratitude, every time you use love over anger, every time you lift someone up, you're changing the energy of the world. The ripples you create will reach people you'll never meet and touch hearts you'll never see. That's how light spreads. That's how change begins. Every small act is a seed. Plant them daily with your words, your attitude, your gratitude, your actions. Water them with consistency and watch how they grow into something bigger than you ever imagined. The world doesn't need more big talkers. It needs more people doing small things with great love. You have that power. You always have. So today, choose to act. Choose to speak life. Choose to be thankful. Choose to create ripples that move the world closer to light, to love, to hope. You may never see how far they go, but trust me, they go further than you think. Gratitude doesn't truly exist until it's expressed. That's the truth most people miss. You can feel thankful all day, but if it never leaves your mind or your heart, it never has the power to impact your life or the lives of others. Expression is where gratitude becomes transformation. When you say a thank you, when you write a note, when you take a moment to help someone else, you're turning an inner feeling into an outer force. Gratitude that stays silent stays small. But gratitude that is expressed grows and multiplies. It changes not only how you feel about life, but how life responds to you. See, a lot of people think gratitude is just a private emotion, something you quietly think about when things go right. But true gratitude is active. It's communication. It's a habit of acknowledging and giving back. When you start expressing gratitude daily, not just in thoughts, but in words, gestures, and actions, you start a ripple effect that changes everything. Gratitude is not just about saying a thank you. It's about living a thank you. It's about living a thank you. It's about how you show up in your relationships, in your work, in your attitude, and even in how you handle your challenges. Think about this. When was the last time you told someone, I appreciate what you did for me? When was the last time you looked someone in the eye and said, you made my day easier, thank you? We live in such a fast-paced world that we forget to slow down and appreciate. We assume people know we're grateful, but assumptions don't inspire. Words do. When you express gratitude, you give others fuel. You give them motivation to keep going. You remind them their efforts matter. And the more you express it, the more you start to notice the blessings around you that you might have missed before. Let me tell you something. Gratitude expressed is power released. When you start expressing it, you begin to rewire your brain. Neuroscientists have found that writing down what you're grateful for or telling others, thank you, actually releases dopamine and serotonin. Those are your brain's feel-good chemicals. So not only does gratitude make others feel valued, it literally wires your emotional state. You start to walk lighter, smile more, and see opportunities where you used to see problems. But the catch is, you have to express it. You can't just think it. When you're intentional about expressing gratitude, even in small ways, your entire energy changes. You wake up saying a thank you for the breath in your lungs. You thank your parents for their sacrifices. You thank your coworkers for showing up and giving their best. You thank your friends for standing with you through storms. And suddenly the world looks brighter, not because it changed, but because your perspective did. Gratitude expression is like cleaning the lens you see life through. Everything becomes clearer, more meaningful, more alive. Now, some people struggle to express gratitude because they think it makes them vulnerable. Think saying a thank you is admitting they needed help. But here's what they don't understand. Expressing gratitude doesn't make you weak, it makes you strong. It takes humility to say, I didn't do this alone. It takes maturity to recognize the contributions of others. Gratitude builds bridges. Ego builds walls. The people who express thanks are the ones who create connection. They're the ones who lift others up. And because of that, they rise higher themselves. Start small. You don't need to make grand gestures to express gratitude. Sometimes it's as simple as sending a quick message, hey, I appreciate you checking on me. Or giving someone a genuine compliment like, you did a great job today. Or leaving a thank you note for the janitor, the bus driver, or the teacher who quietly does their job without recognition. Those small acts are not small at all. They are seeds that grow into relationships, trust, and joy. You never know what a simple thank you can do. You might change someone's day or even save their hope. I remember hearing a story about a man who wrote a thank you letter every day for an entire year. He started small, thanking people from his past, like old teachers and friends. Then he moved on to people in his daily life, co-workers, service workers, family members. After a year, he said his entire life felt lighter. His relationships improved, his stress dropped, and opportunities began showing up that never had before. Why? Because gratitude expressed attracts positivity. It aligns you with people and energy that reflect appreciation, not entitlement. When you express gratitude, it's not just about making others feel good. It's also about training your mind to focus on what's working. Life has a way of giving more of what you focus on. If you constantly complain, you'll find more reasons to complain. But if you consistently express gratitude, you'll start seeing blessings in places you never looked before. You'll notice the beauty in the routine, the lessons in the hardship, the joy in the simple things. But let's take this deeper. Gratitude expressed can even heal. When you're angry, when you're hurt, when you've been through betrayal or loss, gratitude expression becomes a way of release. Saying a thank you for what you learned through pain doesn't justify what happened. but it transforms how you carry it. It turns your wounds into wisdom. It reminds you that even in struggle, you grew stronger. And when you express that gratitude to the people who stood by you in those dark times, it strengthens your bond and reminds you that you were never truly alone. Expressing gratitude also creates leadership. You can't be a great leader without appreciation. The best leaders in business, in sports, in families are those who make people feel seen and valued. They say, I see your effort and I appreciate it. They understand that gratitude multiplies performance. People don't give their best for money alone. They give their best when they feel their work matters. Gratitude is the fuel that turns potential into performance. Let me challenge you. Starting today, don't just feel grateful, express it. Every single day, find at least one person to thank genuinely. Not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's unexpected. When someone holds the door for you, say thank you. When someone encourages you, thank them back. When someone challenges you and makes you better, express your appreciation. Turn gratitude into your reflex, not your afterthought. You see, gratitude is like a language. The more you speak it, the more fluent you become. At first, it might feel awkward to say a thank you all the time. But over time, it becomes natural. And when that happens, you'll start noticing that people respond differently to you. They'll smile more. They'll open up more. They'll want to work with you, help you, support you. Because everyone is drawn to gratitude, it's magnetic. And here's something powerful. Gratitude expressed can break negativity. When you walk into a room where everyone is complaining and you bring thankfulness, you shift the atmosphere. You interrupt the cycle of negativity with the energy of appreciation. You remind people that there's still something good, something worth noticing. Gratitude doesn't just change you, it changes environments. So express it loudly, boldly, frequently. Tell people how much they mean to you while you can. Write the message, make the call, give the compliment, offer the thanks. Don't wait until tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. Gratitude delayed is gratitude denied. Don't keep your thankfulness locked inside. Let it out and watch how it transforms your life. When you make the expression of gratitude a daily practice, something incredible happens. You stop taking life for granted. You realize that every breath, every sunrise, every conversation, every opportunity is a gift. Gratitude stops being just a reaction and becomes your lifestyle. And when that happens, your joy stops depending on circumstances. It becomes rooted in awareness. So remember this, gratitude expresses gratitude expanded. The more you express it, the more you experience it. Don't just feel it, love it, speak it, share it. Because the moment you express gratitude, you release something powerful into the world, a force that can heal hearts, build relationships, and transform your entire reality. Gratitude and resilience are deeply connected. In fact, gratitude is one of the strongest tools we have to build resilience. The ability to bounce back from setbacks, disappointments, or even heartbreak. Life will test you. It will throw storms your way, unexpected losses, betrayals, failures, and moments that break your plans and your confidence. But gratitude keeps you grounded. It keeps you from drowning in self-pity or bitterness. It's the mindset that said, even though this hurts, I'm thankful I'm still here. I'm thankful I still have something left to build from. That's the power of gratitude. It doesn't erase pain, but it gives pain a purpose. It helps you find meaning in the middle of chaos. When life knocks you down, the natural reaction is frustration, sadness, or anger. But gratitude flips that reaction. It doesn't deny what happened, it reframes it. Instead of asking, oh, why did this happen to me? Gratitude helps you ask, what can I learn from this? What can I be thankful for? Even in this, that shift in perspective is what keeps you from staying down. Because people don't rise because life gets easier. They rise because they choose a different focus. Gratitude helps you focus on what's still possible, not what's lost. You see, every setback carries a seed of growth. Gratitude is the sunlight that helps it bloom. When you choose to be thankful for the lesson instead of bitter about the loss, you start to grow stronger mentally and emotionally. You begin to understand that life isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Gratitude reminds you that every challenge is shaping you into someone tougher, wiser, and more compassionate. The people who thrive after failure aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who, even when they hit the ground, whisper, "Oh, thank you for the experience." I'll rise better next time. Let's be real. Gratitude during hard times doesn't come naturally. It's not easy to be thankful when your heart is broken, when the bills are piling up, or when doors keep closing. But that's exactly when gratitude becomes most powerful. Because in those moments, gratitude becomes an act of faith. It's saying, I might not see it now, but I trust that something good can still come out of this. That kind of mindset builds emotional strength that no storm can destroy. It's not fake positivity, it's real endurance. Think about some of the strongest people you know or the greatest success stories you've heard. They didn't get there without struggle. They went through things that could have broken them. Failure, rejection, loss. But they stayed grateful. They found something to hold on to, even if it was small. A lesson, a person, an opportunity. They turned gratitude into armor. They didn't let pain harden them. They let gratitude heal them. That's resilience. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means recognizing that even in imperfection, there is still something to value. It means saying, I may not have what I want, but I'm thankful for what I have. It means understanding that every closed door led you to something better, even if it took time to see it. And once you start thinking like that, you stop being a victim of life and start being a student of it. Gratitude makes every experience, good or bad, part of your development. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain, it's about transforming it. Gratitude gives you the ability to find blessings in disguise. Maybe that job you lost was preparing you for something big. Maybe that heartbreak taught you self-worth. Maybe that failure built your humility and hunger. When you start looking at life through the lens of gratitude, you realize that the things that tried to destroy you actually developed you. They made you capable of handling more. They made you appreciate success when it finally comes. Gratitude also helps you recover faster because it shifts your focus from what's gone to what remains. If you only see what's missing, you'll stay stuck. But if you start recognizing what's still in your control, your health, your talents, your determination, you begin to rebuild. You start taking small steps forward again. Gratitude gives you the emotional energy to keep moving. It whispers, you've been through worse and survived. You'll make it through this too. And here's something powerful. Gratitude reduces fear. Fear feeds on uncertainty and loss. But gratitude focuses on abundance. When you start counting what's right instead of what's wrong, fear loses its grip. You start realizing that even in chaos, there's still good. There's still something worth fighting for, something worth waking up for. That mindset is the foundation of resilience. Because resilient people aren't fearless. They're faithful. They see hope when others see ending. I remember hearing a story about a man who lost everything in a fire. His home, his possessions, everything he owned. Reporters asked him how he felt, expecting him to express sorrow or anger. But he simply said, I'm grateful my family is safe. The fire took the house, not our lives. We can rebuild. That's gratitude in action. That's resilience in motion. That man didn't deny the pain, but he chose to focus on the blessing that remained. And because of that, he had the strength to start over. His gratitude became the fuel for his recovery. We can learn from that. When life burns down what you built, gratitude hands you the blueprint to rebuild. It doesn't let you stay stuck in what you lost. It points you toward what you can still create. It's the difference between quitting, and continuing. Gratitude said, it's not over. It's just a new chapter. When you practice gratitude consistently, it becomes your automatic response to adversity. Instead of collapsing, you adapt. Instead of complaining, you create. You begin to see opportunities inside obstacles. You start to realize that setbacks aren't punishments, they're set up for growth. Gratitude doesn't erase struggle, but it gives it meaning. And when pain has meaning, it stops being unbearable. It becomes part of your power. Here's something else. Gratitude strengthens your relationships during hard times. When life gets tough, it's easy to isolate or lash out. But gratitude reminds you to appreciate the people who stand with you. When you thank those who support you, friends, family, mentors, you build connection and emotional safety. That support system is a major part of resilience. No one rises alone. Gratitude keeps you humble enough to recognize that and connect enough to lean on others when needed. And don't forget, gratitude isn't just emotional, it's physical too. Studies show that people who practice gratitude have lower stress, better sleep, and stronger immune systems. That means gratitude literally strengthens your body to handle life's pressures. It's like emotional armor and physical medicine at the same time. When you make gratitude a habit, you don't just survive, you thrive, even in adversity. Gratitude also helps you stay grounded when you do succeed. Because resilience isn't only about getting through failure, it's about staying humble after victory. Gratitude keeps your heart soft when the world praises you. It reminds you that every success came from effort, help, and grace. It keeps you balanced. The same gratitude that helps you rise from failure keeps you steady in success. It's the foundation of both perseverance and peace. And here's the truth. When you live with gratitude, nothing is wasted. Every heartbreak, every delay, every disappointment becomes material for growth. Gratitude transforms pain into wisdom and hardship into strength. It's what allows you to look back and say, I'm grateful for every step, even the painful ones, because they brought me here. That's the mindset that creates unshakable resilience. So if you want to be strong in life, not just strong for a moment, but strong for a lifetime, build the habit of gratitude. When life gets hard, don't let your first thought be a why me. Let it be a thank you for another chance to learn, to fight, to grow. Say it even through tears. Say it even when it feels impossible. Because every time you do, you're building spiritual muscle. You're training your mind to see hope instead of despair. Gratitude and resilience are like roots and branches. The deeper your gratitude runs, the higher your resilience grows. Gratitude keeps you rooted when the winds of life blow hard. It keeps you from snapping under pressure. Whispers, you've got this. You come too far to quit. And when you rise again, stronger, wiser, more grateful, that's when you realize that gratitude was never just about being thankful. It was about becoming unstoppable. Gratitude is not just a feeling you experience. It's a practice you cultivate, a habit you intentionally build every single day. The difference between people who live joyfully and those who live bitterly often comes down to what they focus on daily. Gratitude as a daily discipline doesn't happen automatically. It takes effort, awareness, and consistency. It's not something you do only when life is good or when everything falls into place. True gratitude is forged in routine. In the ordinary moments when you pause to recognize the extraordinary gifts hidden in plain sight. It's in how you wake up, how you interact with people, how you end your day, and even how you respond to challenges. When gratitude becomes a daily rhythm, it becomes part of your identity, not just your reaction. See, most people think gratitude is something that happens when things go right, when you get that job, buy that car, or reach that milestone. But that's not gratitude. That's celebration. That's celebration. Gratitude is deeper than that. It's a way of seeing the world, a filter that changes how you interpret everything. It's the practice of finding reasons to say a thank you even when you're tired, when things are uncertain, when life doesn't go according to plan. The more you practice it, the more your mind begins to look for the good automatically. That's when gratitude stops being a mood and starts being a mindset. Building gratitude as a daily habit starts with awareness. You have to train your eyes and heart to notice the small blessings you often overlook. Think about it. You wake up in the morning, and before your feet hit the floor, you can start with one powerful thought. Thank you. And thank you for this new day. Thank you for the chance to try again. Thank you for breath in my lungs. That simple moment of gratitude before the world even touches you sets the tone for your day. Because how you start your morning often determines how you experience everything that follows. Gratitude should not be random. It should be intentional. Create moments for it. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Reflect on it. One of the most powerful habits you can develop is keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be huge. Maybe it's your morning coffee, a text from a friend, or the quiet peace you felt during a walk. Over time, your brain starts to look for these moments naturally because it's been trained to notice them. And when you notice more good, you feel more joy. Gratitude journaling isn't about ignoring life's problems. It's about refusing to let those problems be the only thing you see. Another way to make gratitude a daily habit is through your language. Words have power, and the words you speak shape your reality. When you practice gratitude through your speech, saying a thank you, expressing appreciation, complimenting others, you're reinforcing the habit in real time. Try this. Instead of complaining about what's missing, start acknowledging what's present. Instead of saying, I have to, say, I get to. You don't have to go to work. You will get to have a job that pays your bill. You don't have to take care of your kids. You will get to raise them, love them, and watch them grow. That one shift in language rewires how you perceive life's demands. Gratitude doesn't remove responsibility. It changes your relationship with it. And gratitude isn't just for the good days. The hard days need it even more. On difficult mornings, when you're stressed or frustrated, gratitude becomes your anchor. You can't control everything that happens, but you can control what you focus on. Gratitude helps you stay grounded, reminding you that even when everything feels heavy, there's still something worth appreciating. Maybe it's the strength you didn't know you had. Maybe it's a lesson life is teaching you. Maybe it's the support of someone who cares. Gratitude doesn't deny the pain. It acknowledges the gift inside the struggle. To build gratitude into your daily rhythm, make it part of your routines. In the morning, say something you're grateful for. During the day, find someone to thank or encourage. Before you go to sleep, reflect on what went well or who made your day better. It might sound simple, but small, consistent acts of gratitude create massive internal change. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And don't underestimate the impact of expressing gratitude to others every day. When you thank people, not just for big gestures, but for little things, you create connection. You make them feel seen. You make them feel valued. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to build trust and kindness in relationships. Imagine how different workplaces, families, and friendships would feel if people made gratitude a daily habit instead of an occasional afterthought. It would transform the atmosphere, replacing criticism with appreciation and tension with peace. You can even practice gratitude in silence, in those quiet moments between the noise of life. When you're walking, driving, or waiting instead of scrolling through distractions, use that time to mentally list things you're thankful for. This turns ordinary moments into spiritual renewal. Gratitude practiced this way isn't about performance, it's about presence. It keeps you grounded in the now, reminding you that joy isn't waiting somewhere in the future. It's hidden in the present moment, waiting to be noticed. You won't always feel grateful. Some days you'll wake up tired, anxious, or overwhelmed. That's where the discipline part comes in. Gratitude as a daily habit isn't about waiting for the feeling to come. It's about choosing the attitude first. You don't practice gratitude because life is perfect. You practice it because life is unpredictable. You do it because it gives you perspective, power, and peace when things feel uncertain. Gratitude is a choice before it's a feeling. When you make gratitude part of your daily life, you start to notice how it spills into everything else. Your patience improves. Your mood stabilizes. Your relationships deepen. Even your goals become clearer because you're operating from abundance, not lack. Gratitude doesn't make you lazy or complacent. It actually makes you more driven because it aligns your focus with what matters most. You stop chasing validation and start appreciating progress. You stop comparing your life to others and start valuing your own journey. The more you practice daily gratitude, the more you realize that it's not about big miracles. It's about small moments. It's the sunrise after a dark night, the smile of a stranger, the meal you didn't have to worry about, the laughter that interrupts your stress. Gratitude opens your eyes to what's always been there, the simple beauty of being alive. And here's something powerful. Gratitude practice daily changes the chemistry of your brain. Science shows that consistent gratitude practice increases happiness, decreases stress, and enhances empathy. It trains your brain to release serotonin and dopamine, chemicals that make you feel calm and fulfilled. In other words, gratitude doesn't just make your life better emotionally. It improves your mental and physical health. When gratitude becomes your habit, peace becomes your natural state. It's easy to overlook gratitude because it doesn't demand attention. It's quiet, it's subtle, but it's life-changing. Think about brushing your teeth. You do it every day, not because it's exciting, but because it prevents decay. Gratitude works the same way for your heart and mind. It keeps you from being consumed by negativity. It protects your peace. It's maintenance for the soul. If you want to live a life filled with joy, Start by scheduling gratitude into your daily rhythm. Set reminders. Write it on your mirror. Make it a part of your prayer or meditation. Practice it with your family. Ask them what they're thankful for at dinner. Make it a part of your team meetings at work. Gratitude spreads fast when practiced together. It lifts spirits, shifts energy, and builds unity. The truth is, gratitude is the root of every good habit. It fuels kindness, patience, generosity, and peace. It turns ordinary people into extraordinary leaders because it grounds them in humility and appreciation. When you live from gratitude, you lead with compassion instead of ego. You see people as gifts, not as obstacles. You approach challenges with faith instead of fear. So build the gratitude habit, not as something extra, but as something essential. Let it guide your mornings, shape your words, influence your choices, and heal your heart. Let gratitude be the rhythm of your life, steady, constant, and strong. Because when gratitude becomes your daily practice, you don't just change how you see the world, you change how the world sees you. And that's the kind of transformation that turns ordinary days into meaningful ones, and an ordinary life into a life worth celebrating every single day. Gratitude is contagious. It spreads in ways you can't always see, but can always feel. When one person practices gratitude openly and consistently, it begins to influence everyone around them, their family, friends, co-workers, and even strangers. It's like a ripple effect that starts from one drop of appreciation and expands outward, touching hearts and changing atmospheres. Gratitude has the power to shift energy, to transform negativity into hope, and to replace tension with connection. One thankful heart can light up a room more than any smile or speech ever could. Because when you live in gratitude, people feel it. They sense peace, humility, and joy radiating from you. And that kind of energy doesn't go unnoticed, it inspires. Imagine walking into a workplace where everyone feels unseen, overworked, or unappreciated. The air is heavy, the conversations are short, and the energy is drained. But then one person starts saying a thank you. Not the empty kind, but the genuine kind. Heartfelt, specific, consistent. A thank you for your help on that project. I appreciate the effort you put into that task. You made this easier for me today. Slowly, the energy shifts. People start smiling a little more. They start working with a bit more enthusiasm. Gratitude breathes life into places where exhaustion once lived. It's that powerful. It reminds people that what they do matters. And when people feel valued, they show up differently. That's why gratitude is not only a personal habit, it's a leadership trait. The most effective leaders are not those who demand more, but those who appreciate more. A leader who practices gratitude builds loyalty and trust. When you thank people for their contribution, you make them feel seen and respected. Gratitude turns employees into believers, teams into families, and workplaces into community. It doesn't take expensive rewards or elaborate program, just sincere acknowledgement. Because people don't forget how you make them feel, and gratitude makes them feel important. Gratitude also transforms families. Think about it. How often do we thank the people closest to us? Sometimes we take them for granted because we see them every day. We assume they know we appreciate them, but unspoken gratitude is often invisible. When you begin to express thanks within your family, you open doors to deeper love and understanding. Saying a thank you for dinner, a thank you for supporting me, or a thank you for believing in me might seem small, but it strengthens bonds in big ways. It reminds your loved ones that their efforts are seen, their sacrifices are acknowledged, and their presence is valued. Gratitude turns a house into a home. Even in friendships, gratitude is the glue that holds connection together. When you thank your friends for listening, for being there, for sharing moments, you're nurturing a relationship. You're telling them, you matter in my story. Friendships fade not because of distance, but because of neglect. Gratitude keeps them alive. It keeps conversations authentic and relationships full of life. And when your friends feel appreciated, they naturally reflect their energy back to you. That's the cycle of gratitude. Give it freely, and it returns multiplied. But the ripple effect doesn't stop with the people you know. Gratitude extends to strangers too. When you say thank you to a cashier, a janitor, a waiter, or a bus driver, you remind them their work has value. You might not know their story, but your gratitude could be the encouragement they needed that day. Sometimes, a simple thank you is enough to turn someone's day around, to give them hope that kindness still exists in a world that often feels cold. Gratitude is one of the easiest ways to spread humanity. It costs nothing but gives everything. What's remarkable is that gratitude not only changes others, it changes the environment. It creates a positive atmosphere wherever it's practiced. You can feel it in classrooms where teachers thank their students for effort, in teams where players celebrate each other's growth, and in communities where people appreciate small acts of kindness. Gratitude raises the emotional temperature of any space. It fosters unity, understanding, and mutual respect. When gratitude becomes a culture, not just a moment, division disappears. People start looking for common ground instead of conflict. And it's not about grand gesture, it's about consistency. Gratitude grows when it's practiced daily, not occasionally. When people see that your gratitude is genuine, they begin to mirror it. That's how you build a community of gratitude, one thank you at a time. Because gratitude inspires gratitude. When you appreciate others, they start noticing what they can appreciate too. That's how positivity spreads. Not through speeches or slogans, but through lived example. Gratitude also heals relationships that are broken. When pride and ego create distance, gratitude bridges the gap. Saying a thank you to someone who hurt you doesn't mean you forget the pain, but it means you choose peace over resentment. Gratitude can restore what anger destroyed. It can soften hearts hardened by misunderstanding. When you focus on what someone did right instead of everything they did wrong, you make room for reconciliation. Gratitude reminds us that people are imperfect, but still worthy of appreciation for the good they bring. Even in communities where people disagree, in workplaces divided by opinions, or families hurt by old wounds, gratitude can shift the dynamic. It's hard to stay angry when you're focused on appreciation. Gratitude disarms defensiveness and invites empathy. It creates dialogue instead of division. When you thank someone for trying, even if they didn't get it perfect, you keep the relationship open. That openness is what keeps humanity alive. Gratitude also inspires service. When you live with a thankful heart, you naturally want to give back. You realize how much you've received and you want others to feel the same. You start volunteering, mentoring, helping, supporting. Not out of obligation, but out of joy. Gratitude turns receivers into givers. It transforms blessings into movements. That's why many great social leaders and change makers begin with gratitude. They see what they have as a gift, and that gift becomes their motivation to serve others. And this is where the impact gets bigger. Gratitude doesn't just change people or relationships. It changes entire communities. When gratitude becomes part of a community's culture, collaboration replaces competition. People begin to celebrate each other's successes instead of resenting them. They start building each other up instead of tearing each other down. Gratitude becomes the foundation of growth, because where there is gratitude, there is humility, and where there is humility, there is room for learning, love, and leadership. Think about movements in history, the ones that brought real change. Behind them were always people who were thankful for what they had and wanted to extend that gratitude to others through action. Gratitude motivates generosity. It moves people to give, to help, to make life better for others. It's one of the quietest but most powerful forces in the world because it doesn't demand. It inspires. Even online, gratitude changes. Social media is often filled with comparison and negativity, but when you use it to express gratitude, to thank your supporters, celebrate achievement, or appreciate others, it shifts the space. People start responding with positivity, they feel good reading it, and they start doing the same. Gratitude online can counter toxicity and bring back authenticity, but for gratitude to truly spread, it has to start with one decision. Yours, you decide to live thankfully no matter what. You decide to look for good, to speak appreciation, to act with kindness. And once you start doing that, the world around you changes, not because it suddenly became perfect, but because you're seeing and shaping it through a lens of grace. People will feel your gratitude long before they hear your words. They'll feel it in how you treat them, how you respond, how you make them feel valued. Gratitude is like fire. It starts small, with one spark, one word, one act. But if nurtured, it can spread wide and warm countless lives. Your attitude of gratitude can inspire a friend to do the same, who then passes it on to someone else. And soon, that one simple decision to be thankful creates a chain reaction that impacts families, neighborhoods, workplaces, and even generations. That's how powerful gratitude is when it becomes a movement, not just a moment. So never underestimate the effect your gratitude can have on others. Your thankfulness might be the light someone needed in their darkness. It might be the encouragement that keeps them going, the hope that helps them believe again. Gratitude connects hearts. It's a universal language, one that transcends race, religion, and culture. Everyone understands a thank you. Everyone feels seen through appreciation. When you live with gratitude, you become a mirror reflecting positivity into a world that desperately needs it. You remind others that even in chaos, kindness still exists. That even in struggle, there's still beauty. That even in pain, there's still purpose. Gratitude is not just about changing your life. It's about changing lives around you. Because when one person chooses to live in thankfulness, it doesn't stop there. It echoes, multiplies, and continues long after the words are spoken. That's the real power of gratitude. Not just in how it makes you feel, but in how it makes others live. It turns moments into memories, relationships into legacies, and ordinary days into opportunities to make the world a little brighter. One grateful heart can transform a family, a team, a community, and maybe even the world. Gratitude is not just about the good moments, it's about the difficult ones too. It's easy to say a thank you when life is going your way, when the sun is shining and everything seems to be falling into place. But real gratitude, the kind that builds resilience and peace, shows up when the storms roll in. True gratitude is tested in pain. It's forged in the fire of disappointment, loss, and struggle. Because when life knocks you down and you still find something to be thankful for, that's when gratitude becomes your strength, not just your comfort. There's a kind of power that comes from being able to say, even though this hurts, I'm still grateful. It doesn't mean you're denying your pain. It doesn't mean you're pretending everything's okay. It means you're choosing to look beyond the pain to find purpose. Gratitude in hardship is not about ignoring reality. It's about shifting perspective. It's saying, I might not understand why this is happening right now, but I believe there's something in it for me, something to learn, something to grow from. Life will test you. There will be moments when everything feels heavy, when the people you trusted walk away, when opportunities slip through your fingers, when nothing seems to go right. And in those moments, gratitude becomes your anchor. Because gratitude reminds you of what remains you of when you've lost something. It reminds you that though life is hard, you're still here, still breathing, still capable of fighting back. Gratitude doesn't remove the pain. It gives the pain meaning. I've met people who have been through the worst: illness, heartbreak, financial loss, yet they radiate peace. When you ask them how, they'll tell you they learn to find gratitude in the small things. They're grateful for another sunrise, for a friend who calls, for the strength to get out of bed. They stopped focusing on what they didn't have and started appreciating what was still within reach. Gratitude became their survival tool. And that's the thing. Gratitude doesn't just make you happy, it makes you unbreakable. Because a grateful heart can't be defeated by circumstances. When you start seeing life through gratitude, even pain becomes a teacher. Every failure becomes feedback. Every delay becomes direction. Every heartbreak becomes redirection. And every loss becomes a lesson. Gratitude gives you eyes to see that what feels like an ending might actually be preparation for something greater. When you can say, a thank you for the lessons in my struggle, you've already won half the battle. Sometimes gratitude in tough times looks like saying, I don't like this, but I'm thankful it's shaping me. Maybe that closed door is saving you from something that wasn't meant for you. Maybe that failure is forcing you to develop skills and strength that success never would have required. Maybe that heartbreak is clearing space for real love to enter your life. Gratitude helps you see that even your pain has purpose, that nothing is wasted. No, it's not easy. Nobody wakes up in the middle of a crisis saying, oh, thank you for this problem. But it's about training your perspective. It's about pausing in the middle of chaos and saying, okay, I'm struggling, but what can I still appreciate right now? Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's the lesson you're learning about yourself. That you're stronger, more capable, more resilient than you ever thought. The more you practice this kind of gratitude, the more peace you'll find even in the storm. Gratitude in difficult times is not about being fake. It's not about forcing yourself to smile through pain. It's about finding balance, acknowledging your hurt while still acknowledging your blessing. It's saying, yes, this hurts. Yes, I'm tired, but I'm still thankful for what I had. That balance gives you strength because it reminds you that your pain doesn't define you. It's just part of your story. Gratitude gives you the power to keep writing that story, even when you're in a dark chapter. There's a line that says, the struggle ends when gratitude begins. That doesn't mean your problems disappear. It means your relationship with them changes. When you face hardship with gratitude, you stop fighting reality and start fighting with it. You stop saying, why me? And start saying, what is this teaching me? You start to understand that maybe life isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. Every challenge becomes an invitation to grow deeper, wiser, stronger. When life feels unfair, gratitude helps you find fairness in the fact that you're still learning, still becoming. When everything seems dark, gratitude becomes the candle that lights your way. When you lose something important, gratitude reminds you that you still have the capacity to love, to hope, to rebuild. Gratitude doesn't erase your pain. It redefines it. It transforms suffering into strength. Think about people who have faced unimaginable adversity. People who've lost loved ones, who battled diseases, who've started over from nothing. And yet they smile, they help others, they stay kind. What makes them different is not that their life is easy. It's that their heart is grateful. They've learned that gratitude is not a reaction. It's a decision. A decision to focus on what remains instead of what's gone. A decision to find light in the cracks. A decision to keep moving forward even when it hurts. You see, gratitude in hardship is the ultimate act of faith. It's believing that there's something good waiting on the other side, even when you can't see it yet. It's trusting that every setback is setting you up for a comeback. It's holding on to hope when everything around you tells you to give up. Gratitude says, I don't know how this will turn out, but I believe it's not the end. That belief alone can keep you standing when everything else falls apart. When you choose gratitude in the storm, you build emotional muscles. You become tougher, calmer, more grounded. Life can hit you hard, but it can't shake you easily anymore because gratitude gives you roots. It keeps you centered. It keeps you grounded in perspective, reminding you that even pain has a season and every season eventually changes. Gratitude whispers, this too shall pass, but who you become because of it will last. And here's the truth. Some of your greatest breakthroughs will come from the seasons you once prayed to escape. You'll look back one day and say, I didn't see it then, but that pain was necessary. That loss pushed me toward growth. That failure redirected me toward my true purpose. Gratitude makes reflection powerful because it lets you look back with peace instead of bitterness. It allows you to say, I'm thankful for what I've been through because it made me who I am. So when life breaks your heart, thank it for revealing your strength. When people walk away, thank them for teaching you independence. When doors close, thank them for guiding you to the right path. When things don't go as planned, thank life for having a bigger plan. Gratitude in the hard times doesn't change the situation immediately, but it changes you. And once you change, everything else eventually follows. Start small. When things are hard, take a breath and ask, what can I still be grateful for right now? Maybe it's just that you're alive, that you have another chance to try again, that you still have purpose. And speak that gratitude out loud. Write it down. Remind yourself daily that even in the valley, there's beauty if you're willing to look for it. The secret of strong people is not that they avoid pain. It's that they face pain with gratitude. They use gratitude as a shield against despair and as a lens to see beyond temporary setbacks. They understand that storms may bend them, but gratitude keeps them from breaking. So don't wait for life to be perfect to be thankful. Be thankful even when it's messy, uncertain, and hard. Because the more you practice gratitude in difficulty, the more peace and power you'll find in every part of your journey. Gratitude turns every scar into a story of strength. Gratitude transforms pain into purpose. Gratitude doesn't just help you survive the hard time. It helps you rise from there with a deeper appreciation for life, for love, and for the beauty hidden in the struggle.